One last game remains, and it is the winner match for Group B. We are about to find out the second player of the day to go through to play at the playoffs. We had one earlier from Group A, and it was Zanster, who is going to be the second Zerg. We'll find out very shortly. Joining me on the desk is In Control, and the one and only, the number 2 Twitch streamer, StarCraft streamer, behind Rotterdam. Or maybe 3, maybe behind Winter StarCraft as well.
It's not.
Top 10 on Twitch in most months.
Thank you for joining us on the desk, my friend. Hope you've been having a good day here in Poland so far.
It's been nice. It's been fun.
Yeah?
And you know what? Hey, save this for the analysis we're about to do for this match, because I can feel
the excitement.
It's
pumped.
palpable.
He's
It
pumped.
is palpable.
Let's take a look at the bracket and contain Nathanius as he is ready for the winner match. It's going to be Patreus versus Snoot, a game that a lot of people thought we'd see in the winner bracket, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think... Yeah, I think Snoot's the one that everyone's like, if he's not up there, something went terribly awry. Gung Fu Banda, a lot of us picked him to go here, but after seeing Patreus play and seeing him in Burbank, it's all of a sudden like, you know what? When do we hype on the Patreus hype wagon?
That's what Nathanius is on the desk for.
Yeah.
He is all about Patreus. Please, give us the reasons why we should be looking. You've
1 to 8
predicted
at least
Patreus to win this. Tell us why he's going to win this group and beat Snoot.
Patreus is he's just based.
You can't answer like that.
Patreus works harder than almost every player I've seen. And while Snoot would also be a pretty good foil to that as someone else who works really hard, Patreus has rarely, if ever, gotten credit for the time he puts in. And I would rate him better than the majority of the other Europeans in this tournament period.
Wow, you go after the Europeans specifically.
Well,
are you calling them lazy then, do you think?
No, I mean, relative to Patreus, pretty much everybody is, though. If you compare the amount of hours they put in.
All right, you heard it here. I mean, those are the kind of bold words I was expecting from you. I agree. Europe is lazy, Sean.
Thank you very much to Thaddeus for joining us on the desk. Let's take a look at the map vetoes then, to have a look at the service Zerg and how it's going to play out. We've already seen a little bit of Snoot and what he can give to us. Coda, Cactus Valley, and Dash and Terminal, the 3 maps here.
Let's just stop with Coda. Like let's make a bond as a table. We're like,
let's not talk about
Let's not
Coda.
analyze it. It's Coda.
Everyone loves Coda. Dash and Terminal squeezes in to the last map here. Nathanius, thoughts there? Is that obviously we're not going to get to there because Patreus is going to 2-0, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if it's actually worth discussing or not. But if it were, Patreus would probably win on that map.
Cactus Valley adds a little bit of an interesting pinch to this. You'll notice that in the last couple of ZVZs, actually, we've had a Cactus Valley appearance, I believe. But my mind's fuzzy on this. The point is, it's a 4-player map, so it actually get kind of weird. We've seen Tenpool Speedling, we've seen Tenpool Baneling in the last couple WCS events as well. All of a sudden, that random factor of ZVZ is starting to step it up a little bit, so the decision to hatch first is not so automatic anymore.
Snoot is a self-proclaimed, on a good day, a god of Zerg versus Zerg.
Oh, wow.
He says that. Do you think that he's now going to lose against Patreus, Jeff? I mean, Snoot has high hopes of advancing in first place from this group.
He has to go in this knowing... I mean, he plays against really good Zerg versus Zerg players out there. I think of his fellow countryman Targa, who's actually a very good Zerg versus Zerg player. His own teammate TLO. We're going to see him later as well. Or no, we are. We are not. Never mind. Maybe I will, because he's super famous in Europe. But the point is, he has a lot of top-notch practice and feels very confident in the matchup. Whereas Patreus is a little bit more of an unknown. Like, we've seen him get put down by Jaedong a few times in WCS, and being a little bit, like, he did live in the European region for a while. He was more known for his results in the NA region, whereas ZVZ was not nearly as contested.
All right, final thoughts then. I know the predictions between all casters was a little bit split here, but final thoughts here, Nathanius, before going in.
I'm just looking forward to seeing Snoot in the top 8 after he finishes in second place.
I mean,
thank you, Nathanius.
Let's leave it with that.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Always pleasure to have Nathanius on the desk joining us. It's time to go to the commentary team for this one. For one final game of the night, which player is going through to the playoffs to play on the weekend?
Find out. Hello there. Time to find out our second round of 8 place finisher here, as we have obviously Snoot and Patreus facing off against one another. That will make our 2 for 2 Zerg versus Zerg. Zerg's 100% doing very well so far here, Pig.
Wow, what a sentence that was.
There you go.
2 for 2 Zergs, 100%, but only for 100% sale something. Wow, you sound, I don't know, you sound like the guy in the warehouse who's kind of throwing things around at the bazaar.
True carpet salesman. True carpet salesman. Like, dressed like it as well. Let's get into it. Our Group B winners match here, as we have spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner. It will be our blue Zerg. It is Petraeus. Look at that killer stare.
Looking focused as ever.
And up to the top left-hand corner, we have our red Zerg. Representing Team Liquid, it is Snoot.
What an important match this is. The winner of this does go through to the top 8. They go through to the weekend event over in Krakow. Sorry for mincing the pronunciation there, but we're here on Coda. Now this map's obviously, we always say it's the most standard, the most played map, but really in Zerg vs Zerg, there's a few things to think about. One is the Overlords are going to get there really fast and scout them.
Yep.
And the other one is that early pools are quite common here, and we did just see Snoot open up that last series with a 10-pool Baneling in Game 1. So you've got to think both players have that running through their mind right now. How greedy are they going to play here? Are they going to play a very safe pool first, or are they going to play a little bit more out there?
Petraeus obviously having to be the one that's really considering that more so than anything, but look at this. No fear Petraeus, that's right. Just like Nathaniel said, I almost called him Rotterdam there for a moment, as we do have that hatchery going to be going down already against spawning pool first here for Snoot, so the middle ground will begin things here for Team Liquid.
Snoot going back to his roots, playing very safe, very conservative there. And what a nice opening it is when you see Snoot do it. He does it just so precise, executes it so damn well. Going to be going for the 16 hatch though. Actually not too conservative. Just feeling a little bit free in his play. Feels like he can defend with that.
Well, they will have that down. And for now, neither player has really seen too much at all. They haven't seen the second Overlords, so they don't quite know what's going on. It's all going to come down to when those Overlords spot out those hatcheries, and then both players will know exactly what is going on behind them. Even if you spot the hatchery a little later, you can read into it as a Zerg that you know there is a spawning pool down on the other side.
Absolutely, and Petraeus is already dropping his gas. Meanwhile, Snoot dropping his a little bit later. Of course, we saw in those previous games, even when Snoot played very aggressive Ling Baneling, he did like a later gas in some of the games. So we can't read too much into that just yet, but it does tell us Petraeus is going to have that faster Ling speed. He's going to have a few more options here in the early stages, and Snoot comes in and spots that right now.
Now, I've got to ask you, the dynamic of this group here, Pig. If you were in Snoot's position, going up against someone like Sen, and then knowing that you're going to have to go up against someone like Petraeus. In that first series, we saw Snoot being pretty aggressive. We saw him going for not as common builds. Is there any kind of dynamic there that plays towards maybe hiding things from Petraeus? How does it work out?
I think definitely, if you ever feel like you can just finish a game,
Yep.
especially in Zerg vs Zerg, it's always a good idea. And it's also so good because it's such a decisive, fast-paced matchup. Every time you do something aggressive, it forces a huge reaction out of your opponent. And if they're not quite up to par, bam, you can just finish the game like that. You don't have to show any of your sneaky plays, any of your crisp macro plays. So Snoot's got to be very happy that he did manage to close the series out in the manner he did. And Petraeus, of course, on the other hand, he only played ZVP so far, though. So both players are kind of thinking, we're only really going off past matches, nothing we've seen in this tournament too much.
And Snoot oftentimes gets the better end against Petraeus many times here in 2015. I think the series won and lost between them is like 3-1 in favor of Snoot in 2015. So quite the win record, but at the same time, you know, we saw kind of the potential of Petraeus. I mean, as much as he is teamless now, that is far from the true story of Petraeus' skill level at the moment.
Oh yeah, I mean, coming from New Zealand, you're in the furthest possible place away from the centers of esports in the entire world. And yet Petraeus has played for Root Gaming, he's played for My Insanity, he's traveled and competed all over the world, lived in team houses, and he's worked on his skill for so many years. And that is one happy Zergling. He's getting a medal. He's getting a special cracker when he gets home.
Yeah, and he better run home because at the moment he's got 2 Zerglings he's going to have to compete with. They are bullies, as he'll have to run for his life and his lunch money. Oh no, his lunch money, no! Aw.
Give it to me.
Nom, nom, nom.
Of course, some things happening now. Patreus going for the fast third, only now opting for his Baneling Nest and Evolution Chamber behind this. So Patreus has opened up very greedy, knowing Snoot's not normally the aggressive player. Patreus has felt really strong to do this, and he's just going to put on some pressure now with his Baneling Nest only just finishing. Oh, great pullback from Patreus.
Yeah, very well done. Good reaction times. At the same time, all of these links will be able to force the cancellation of those 2 Banelings, so making sure he can push that all the way back, and Roach Warren's gone down. This is a mix-up here from what we were seeing from Snoot in the previous series.
Oh, looks like a great build going towards potentially a Roach Bane attack from Snoot. But meanwhile, he's already got a lot of Zerglings here, and he's going to start dishing out a lot of damage. Once again, if he can cancel this third, it's going to be great. But the Banelings for Patreus coming in to save the day.
Leaves himself 1 Zergling there forwards. Baneling, oh, he's able to catch off a lot of Zerglings. Big detonation there for Snoot. Going to separate some more Zerglings off. Try and get on towards those Banelings. Delay them out. Get some more Banelings on the way forwards here. Snoot really keeping Patreus on the back foot.
Oh, he is powering up the aggression just like he did against Sen. Snoot is saying, I am going to overpower you. You guys need to stop being greedy against me. I am going to shut down this third base. But he hasn't managed to do it yet. However, we do see some Roaches in the production tab. And so far, I think Snoot's just trying to distract Patreus. I think he's just trying to keep him on the back foot so the Roaches are a surprise.
Already sees them on the way forwards here, and that's quite scary here. Patreus is trying to get as many Zerglings as possibly can out, but Roaches, once they gather up in number, will be more efficient here than these Zerglings. Unless, of course, these Banelings somehow get in the exact middle of them as a donut shape and blow up. It's a little bit difficult.
Oh, this is a bit scary, but it's not that many Roaches just yet. And with the surround, Patreus is going to deal with those first few Roaches very cost efficiently. No Banelings to support. Snoot's starting to morph these a little bit late, but the parade is coming on.
Yeah, we have 9 Roaches on the way here for Patreus as well. And all the while during this going on, he is up in workers, you've got to remember. And that third base is up a little bit quicker here for Patreus. So he's holding on all right.
And this attack coming in, I mean, this isn't the hugest commitment. It's only a few Roaches and Lings, and it looks like Patreus has actually timed out his defense perfectly. Look at these Roaches coming out just in the nick of time. And behind this, we do see Lair finishing up, +1 range already on the way. Patreus has done this really damn well.
Yeah, very good crisis management here by Patreus, considering what Snoot was throwing at him, and considering he did lose quite a few Zerglings to that initial Baneling explosion. And now just chasing this all the way back. And it is 53 workers to 47 at the moment, so a few units are going to have to come out here for Snoot so he can fend this off.
Snoot here being chased across the map, losing all that map control, but Patreus just going to push in, see what he can get done. Of course, this is still just a skirmish. Neither player has Roach speed, neither of them has that many units, and Patreus cleverly just pulls back there, saying, that's alright, I can start droning my third behind this, and we do feel like Patreus definitely has a lead. Faster upgrades, he's got a drone lead behind this. Snoot looking like he's going to have to play a bit more defensive here. Oh, these Roaches may be overextending a little bit.
And you just see the extent to how much is coming across, thanks to the fact that they had the Watchtower vision. And also, Patreus still has good reads on how his opponent's doing economically, to the point where he droned up nice and strongly behind that. So, as things stand, I mean, who's been able to take this kind of favorably? Is Patreus in a slight lead here?
Yeah, I mean, looking at that supply, you can see it kick in now after the drones on that third have really kicked in, after the pressure dies down. Patreus just has so much more freedom. He's got a great Roach count. He's up a little bit in drones, and he just has the ability to put on a huge Roach attack in the near future, or he can just add more drones and start to tech up. Snoot starting to drone very greedily on his side as well. 67 drones already. Wow.
And I'm wondering how much he really knows about this Roach number, because 23 against 13 at the moment. It's not exactly the most amazing spot here for Snoot. Do we have more in production for him? He needs to have more in production, because that's still quite a lot of Roaches. Now powering forwards here. They had Roach speed just before their opponent, which means they're going to try and overwhelm here. But Trace is really moving in to try and crack this small force of Roaches that has been divided away from some of the reinforcements. The one thing that's going in favor of Snoot is that they are coming in from both sides. He has good concave against this, and Queens to support fire. He will be able to push them away for now.
Good pullback from Patreus there, not overextending. The longer he stayed there, the more Roaches were going to wrap around his army in a perfect concave. He needed to deal with it just the way he did there. And that was a very nice way of putting pressure on, taking a trade, and then kind of pulling back. Look at this. Oh, splitting his Roaches up for the two-pronged attack.
Nice. It wants to do that as well. Considering that there are a few more drones out here for Snoot, just killing off a few would be nice, but he gets pushed away as well. And actually on both fronts here, taking this engagement. He doesn't have +1 weapons though. Patreus does at the moment. So technically, more firepower in favor of Patreus, but number-wise, he will just back off.
Yeah, great defense from Snoot so far. However, if we look at that upgrade tab, Petraeus has got +1 carapace on the way. His +2 is going really well. Meanwhile, Snoot's +2 on the other side of things was only just started, and it was instantly gooped up by that Contaminate. Really great moves from Petraeus. That's going to give him a massive window where he has the +2 and his opponent doesn't.
Another Overseer going to come in. Is he going to actually use this onto the hatchery? If he does, he'll slow down some of the production. And, yep, goopy times. We've had that back in the round of 32, and now we're getting it here. Petraeus is able to utilize it very strongly in this matchup.
Such a great usage of that to slow down the upgrades. And
yeah.
while Snoot has 2 Overseers, they're just dropping Changelings and defending right now. He's in a really defensive mindset, worried about masses of Burrow Roaches moving in. So Snoot's definitely feeling the pressure. He knows he just needs to try to hang on, and he's even starting a Baneling speed in case there's a potential Hydra follow-up from Petraeus.
This is a huge window for Petraeus. The +2, +1 is a massive window here for Petraeus. Not only that, but he has a significantly bigger army supply. 65 against 44. Everything is going Petraeus' way right now.
Oh, he really wants to wait for those upgrades, though, before making the fight happen. He's just got another 30 seconds to wait, and he's going to try and position.
Smart.
Try to come in from multiple sides. Oh, a bit of miscontrol from Petraeus, headbutting some Roaches into Snoot's Concave.
Snoot's Overseer above that knew he had to actually try and take that fight before he was going to be flanked on both sides here. Very important for him to try and do that, but at the same time, now +2 weapons has just finished up here for Petraeus, looking to take the more favorable engagement. That being said, though, Roach is coming from the left-hand side here as the reinforcements for Snoot to try and win this battle out, but I think these upgrades are just a little bit too much here for Petraeus, as he's been able to power through a lot of these thanks to the armor extra carapace he has.
Crisp and precise play from Petraeus. This is a fantastic timing attack, taking advantage of those upgrades. Snoot's +2 still is nowhere near finished, and Petraeus has made it count at the exact right time. He's pushed in and forced that fight, and he has overwhelmed Snoot. He's in between the rally points now. What a great position for Petraeus.
Man, that was pretty cut and dry in the end. He played that to perfection, just being able to slow down that +2. And look how many more Roaches are just going to swell across the map here to put the nail in Snoot's coffin for game number 1. GG, Petraeus is able to take the early lead in this best of 3, and with pinpoint precision there, Pick.
I always love looking at Petraeus after he takes a win like that. He just looks so calm, composed, never looks too crazily excited. He's a player, he really does just love playing the game, but a single win never cuts it for him. He's one of these guys, he has the heart of a competitor, and it's not until this series is over where he'll show any real happiness, maybe crack a small smile or a quirk of one anyway.
And now, of course, Snoot here in a little bit of trouble. One thing that was very evident, though, he was being quite aggressive again in this game.
He did that, and once again, it was very surprising. It's like, let's get in his face, let's do it, and it just didn't quite work out for him once again there, but it looks like he's very keen to get in his opponent's face and try to capitalize on what he feels like is greedy play.
Yeah, we'll see if he continues that after the break, of course, as we will have game number 2 very soon between Petraeus and Snoot. So our second winners match here for the World Championship Series today, but will we see our second big upset? As of course we had Zanster previously going through to the top 8, and now Petraeus is looking to upset another non-Korean hope moving forwards.
Petraeus is just looking on form right now. He's looking so good, and he just played that game very calmly. Did get away with a little bit of greed early on, skipping his Baneling nest, going straight into a third base, but it just worked out fantastically. And Snoot showing some uncharacteristic aggression. I wonder if he's going to do it again.
Well, it's time to get into it. Cactus Valley will be our map. Let's go as we have in this game. Up to the top right-hand corner, it will be our blue Zerg. It is Petraeus.
Looking focused as ever there.
And down to the bottom right-hand corner, we have our red Zerg. Needing to keep himself alive here in the winners match. Representing Team Liquid, it is Snoot.
No doubt a little bit annoyed with how that first game went. Snoot had a really great defensive play against the initial roach speed push. He managed to kind of stay okay there, but he just could not catch up. And Petraeus just played it so crisply after his early advantage. I think it's going to be very interesting what we see this game. And already Snoot actually going to be opting for a very fast gas. And this is a build which he actually used previously in the round of 32 on this same map. I believe it was even the same spawns against a laser, where he opened up with a 14 gas, 14 pool. And this is a huge commitment to an early speed.
Yeah.
It's an early Zergling rush. Now, you know, he won't necessarily go all in with it, but this is a big commitment, and already Petraeus' first Overlord is heading towards his base, which means he's going to find out about it straight away. So Snoot getting very unlucky, getting the 1 in 3 chance that Petraeus is going to know exactly what's going to go on from very early.
Very, very useful here for Petraeus as this Overlord now and goes forwards. Obviously, the thing is that Snoot knows as well that this is going to be spotted pretty early on, thanks to the fact that his second Overlord was heading up towards the north. So how much does he commit to it is the big question, having known that very soon it is going to be noticed.
Yeah, this is really the big decision, of course. Previously, when we saw in the round of 32, Snoot just pulled off gas and just went for a fast expansion and just did a light speedling, baneling pressure, really trying to force the mechanics battle, saying, I am so good mechanically. I sit there playing Osu all day, my mouse accuracy game. I can force this battle.
He didn't go in. He didn't go any further.
Oh, my.
That's quite surprising. I think he was
oh wow, he didn't even see the guys mining gas. Petraeus, being very afraid of an early queen, is actually shifting his Overlord around here. I mean, this is a little bit conservative from Pet, and it is going to delay his scouting a lot. It isn't going to be until his Overlord shoots into the natural and kind of scoops its way around there that he will realize that something's up. So this is a very frightening position for Petraeus, missing out on that early information he should have got.
I definitely could have spotted this earlier, but now seeing those lings, now seeing the lack of a natural, he's got to be much more wary. He's got a few Zerglings in production, 2 queens coming out as well. The defense is starting to roll on out, but speed's about to finish. The spine crawler's morphing in. He knows that something is definitely up here, and he knows he's going to need more defense.
Oh yeah, and this is going to be a big attack from Snoot. 10 Zerglings in that production tab. He's already got a lot of Zerglings out. He's really committing hard. This is a big Ling Bane aggression. Petraeus is already getting his queens to that ramp. He's already building 2 spine crawlers in the main base. He has no idea what exactly it is that's coming his way just yet, but he is getting very well prepared.
And positioning those queens as a wall here at the ramp is going to really help out a lot, especially when those Banelings really want to try and move on through, but Ling's going to start working on the natural. It almost puts like a clock on what he wants to do, but with the spine crawler slowly transitioning down here, maybe he'll be able to fend it off.
Oh, it's all about securing this low ground, but Snoot is saying, I am just going to kill your hatchery, and Petraeus is not taking any chances. Oh, an accidental Baneling detonate, I'd say, on the lava there, but a nice hatchery pickup from Snoot. Does get himself an edge. Petraeus not risking it, not trying to contest the low ground. However, as Funker just showed us, the worker count at the bottom, Petraeus is still up in that worker tab, and he's got his own Zergling speed about to finish. So if he can secure this natural expansion, he will be in a good spot. Oh!
Ling's trying to go in for one of the spine crawlers to start things off. They don't do huge amounts of damage to it, but that one Baneling actually connected with both the spine crawlers, getting in between them, doing extra damage overall. And finally, we'll kill off one spine. There was a transfuse to keep it alive for a little longer, so they bought some more time.
Snoot is going for the big tempo play here. Even though he's got his own hatchery down behind this, he's not building any drones. He's saying, if I can keep delaying your natural hatchery, that is where my advantage comes from. And then once my hatchery's done, I can suddenly flood out drones, and you're just going to be so far behind. Patreus is all about securing that low ground now. Can his queens and spines hang on?
Now Link's come in once again here. Those two banelings are super important here to try and do something with the damage that it can get in. And he actually manages to kill off the spine. There's still another baneling exploding between both of the queens, killing those off. And if you back up now, you'll have access to more lava here as Snoot.
Oh, you will actually. You know, Snoot's got more lava, but without any more banelings, he can't use that tech advantage. The baneling nest for Patreus is almost finished. And now with the superior lings out, even though he lost those queens, Patreus has secured his natural hatchery, and now it's his turn to put on some aggression, create some space for himself on the map. And this game is looking very even. It is all about the micro in these next Ling Bane skirmishes.
Yeah, exactly. He saw those banelings morphing in as well, did Snoot. So he's going to bring forwards just one of his own, but that's so far away, so needs to be able to deal with that one. And make sure the baneling, whoop.
Good micro from both players here, trying to deny each other, sniping off the banelings, sending off small squads of zerglings. Nice pickup by Patreus, trading 3 lings for a baneling. But interestingly, Snoot bringing a queen down to support. This makes it very hard for Pet to engage.
Is he going to walk that all the way? Like, where is it going? Okay, so it's not going to go too much further. That would have been a bit crazy, as we'll be able to kill off these continual small little zergling numbers. 25 workers against 21 at the moment, so small amount of focus fire. Queen's an eager beaver.
Oh yeah, creates a lot of space there for Snoot.
Yeah.
Notice now suddenly the fight is a lot further from his natural, and in the midst of this, he has snuck a big squad of speedlings around. Gonna go catch some of Patreus' queens.
Yeah, that's very, very nice. If we can actually kill off both of these, or even get some drones as well, and Patreus was just not ready for that. He's looking to try and do damage with these banelings, but Snoot really doing wonders with these lings.
Oh, so much damage. 7, 8 drones going down. Patreus was looking so good, but that queen, I think it was almost the linchpin of creating space there, and it just totally tricked Pet, put his focus in the wrong spot. Beautiful victory for Snoot.
Yeah, there you go. GG. Well played out. And just that little ling maneuver there at the very end. Just really, really cool stuff. Not something that you would generally anticipate, so much so that we hardly even caught it ourselves until it was right on his doorstep. That was a stroke of genius there by Snoot to just put the final word on that game.
That was really well played by Snoot. I mean, once again, uncharacteristically aggressive, and I think we have to stop saying that at this point because he's done it 4 or 5 games in a row now. It's starting to become characteristically aggressive for this tournament. Snoot, he's showing the style he wants to play here in the round of 16. He wants to use a lot of Ling Bane aggression, and he wants to exert those mechanics. The way he pulls the queen out, sneaks the attack around the side, but even just leading into that perfect Ling splits, getting his banelings there to create space, just a fantastic play all round.
All right, well, we are going to go to one final break, and when we are back, it is the conclusion here of our winners match between Patreus and Snoot. Welcome back to the World Championship Series here for StarCraft 2, as we're going to be getting into game number 3 between Patreus and Snoot. And at the moment, obviously Snoot being able to kind of pull it back here in this series still continues to look very, very aggressive and pulling the wins out in those games where he is being most aggressive.
He's looking really good with those plays, but there are points where it does look a bit dicey, and it's very risky play, very high risk, high reward. But you know, Snoot's just looking confident with it. He managed to close it out against Sen in the previous set, but Patreus has looked strong himself in these fights. I mean, he looked like he'd got on top of that last game, so this is going to be a real tricky one.
All right, well, let's get into it then. Game number 3 here in the winners match for Group B, and this will decide who moves on to the top 8. If it is for Snoot, he keeps his BlizzCon hopes alive in a strong position, going up against the second place in that round of 8. Or if it is Patreus, what a monumental moment it would be for him here with his StarCraft career, as we have spawning up to the north, it is our blue Zerg. It is Patreus. Down to the bottom, we have our red Zerg. Representing Team Liquid, it is Snoot.
Epic music for an epic game. It's an important one here. And it looks like both players are going to be on Dash and Terminal here for the final game, and both those Overlords are going to crisscross their paths. Of course, they're going to be seeing pretty much everything that's going on very early on here.
Yeah.
And this is going to take a bit of the chance out. But thinking about the map, we do have to remember, of course, there's the back door. A lot of aggression could come through there later on as well. And if we've seen anything from Snoot, it's that he loves to put on the aggression. However, last time around, this was the map he dropped against Sen.
And so he's going to be doing the same thing as Sen did, which is hiding his second Overlord. So Snoot is already going for a spawning pool. This is a mirror of the Sen Snoot game, actually, with the hatchery going down and Snoot opening up with his spawning pool.
Looks like Snoot just wants to be so careful once again, and yeah, the exact same Overlord pattern there. Interesting will be the gas timings here, as both players do tech up. And you know, Patreus in that first game, he really took some liberties, feeling like Snoot wasn't going to be too aggressive. And when you're here in the third game, going up against Snoot, and you know Snoot really doesn't want to just lose a game to something silly, does Patreus feel comfortable enough to take a risk like that again? Does he go and take a bit of an advantage, skip the baneling nest, rush up his tech, or do something of that nature? Personally, I think it's what I'd do if I was in Pet's shoes right now.
Well, for now, we already know. Or we have a good idea as to what Snoot would do on a map like this. We already saw him in the previous game, and we saw him in the round of 32, using that very heavy Queen defensive style initially to, you know, just be on full lockdown and using those as basically the linchpin to launch the rest of his game from there. And we saw it against the Mueller style doing okay, but you know, that's when, of course, he was keeping locked down, not exactly able to launch it forwards in the aggressive nature he has in the past.
Yeah, this is, once again, that faster gas here is for Patreus, so he's going to have a lot more mobility on this map. He's going to be able to put the pressure on quite hard. Early on, of course, we get to see those keyboard cams. Always interesting to see how the players play. Snoot is a player I've always looked up to as a guy who's incredibly precise with his actions. You can see it almost looks quite calm the way he moves his fingers, but he is one of the fastest players in terms of his effective APM.
Yeah, that's true. I always like this view that we get, because if you were paying close attention when Marine Lord was playing, his keyboard and mouse positioning is actually extremely strange. He has his mouse pad in front of his keyboard, and he plays with a very odd position.
It's kind of like a Counter-Strike almost setup.
Almost.
It does look really really odd compared to most StarCraft players' ones. Of course, Patreus does poke in there with his lings, does get deflected by Snoot. Snoot hasn't built any Zerglings just yet because he did get that fast Overlord Scout, and Snoot is just going to feel very comfortable building up it.
Manages to pick that up. That's quite impressive, actually. Not usual that would end up happening.
That's a really nice pickup, yeah. And the Zerglings are actually scouting for Pet now. They took advantage of the distraction to run in and like, well, if you're going to kill my Overlord, I'm going to scout your main base. Gets in, sees that extra Queen there, and actually it is just the second Queen that followed him into the main. And we do see the Baneling Nest out of Snoot. Once again, Patreus delaying his Baneling Nest, realizing that Snoot's gas is quite late. And both players going to be going for the Baneling game. Oh, is Patreus going to copy his build from game one? Going to go for this fast third third base, maybe.
Yeah, sneaky, and right now, are there any overlords to be able to spot that? There is one towards the back of the natural there for Snoot. Needs to make sure that he's got tabs on it, but he looks like he's just keeping it there to maybe spot out any Zerglings if they were to sneak out around the back way, but that's not going to be the case at the moment. Oh, Lings on the way.
Petraeus' Lings getting onto the Snoot's. Going to close that up, but they do see the third base. Great information for Snoot there. Interestingly, Snoot's gone for a much faster lair this time around. He has, in fact, cancelled he hasn't actually cancelled the Ling speed. He did let that finish, but it finished just after those Zerglings died. And now Snoot making 2 defensive banelings as Pet comes across to put some pressure on.
Yeah, and where are the Queens at the moment? There's only one down here. He's trying to make the full wall off, and the drones have actually come off in this position to try and slow this down. I think Snoot was fully anticipating this actually hitting this hard, and that's a lot of Zerglings with the extra banelings morphing in. He's got to be very, very careful about his defense.
Snoot is really caught with his pants down.
Yeah.
There's just so many units. Pet is sensing weakness, and he's going non-stop Zerglings here. The Queen is down, the banelings are down, and now Pet has free reign over this natural.
Yeah, he doesn't really have many Zerglings to his name, all here to Snoot, and even when he does, they're going to pop out right next to where all of this is going down. That's a lot of drones already dying off here for Snoot. Trace really ramping up the pressure at the moment.
Oh wow, Snoot with a cute block on the natural. He's actually got morphing banelings that have been stopping the reinforcements getting in for the last 20 seconds. A beautiful move from Snoot to buy time, but it is too little, too late. I mean, Petraeus is just flooding in here. He's already killed 21 drones.
Yeah, 37 workers against 23 at the moment. Trying to swing around on the backside here and just continue with Banelings, because with this amount of economy lead that he has right now, he can continue this on and just keep Snoot always trading whilst having a better economy back at home.
Oh yeah, the flood just keeps coming and coming, and even more drones are going down. Petraeus is just getting out of control in Snoot's natural. What a decisive reaction. He spotted this lack of any defense, and he said, hells no, I am going to get in there.
GG. Petraeus is able to make the 2-for-2 upset here, and he moves on to the round of 8. What an impressive result here from our New Zealander.
What a great pickup, going out first through to his group and going straight through to the quarterfinals. He said it was his goal here to do better than he did last season, and he has made it happen, but an unfortunate loss there for Snoot.
Unfortunate indeed loss for Snoot. Petraeus goes through as our second player. He advances in first place from Group B and is now going to be joining us on the desk. Petraeus.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing? You seem very small. Are you sitting down?
I should be standing up.
Yeah,
really,
yeah. You're a champion. You can.
We should be kneeling before you. To be honest, I mean,
all right.
Did you expect? I mean, it's kind of a silly question. I think every competitor does expect to advance, but beating Snoot, beating everybody, did you number one?
I don't know. I've been improving really fast recently at a rate I haven't felt in a long time. So it's kind of weird because it's me going back. But then it's suddenly, I mean, these things happen. You hear about all these people who like take breaks and they're like, oh, I've got all these results. And of course, later on, you know, they're kicking themselves. But right now, it's really nice.
Talk to us about the Australian Public School District. I mean, what is going on over there?
I can't tell if you're okay.
No, New Zealand. Dang it. All right.
No, he actually wasn't joking.
Is that a genuine?
No,
okay.
I'm totally being a joke, yeah.
Okay, because you call me Australian a lot on streams.
It's actually the worst thing about me. It honestly is.
It is.
Doesn't know too much about
We
that.
will never be friends.
I'm going to try. I'll make it up to you. I'll tell you what. On that stage in Krakow, I will refer to you as a New Zealander.
I promise. Say promise.
Thanks.
Say promise.
We have a New Zealand flag
promises.
and wrap it around your shoulders.
You bring it, I'll do it.
Might be hard to
Are
come
you
by.
actually in school? Are you lying? Are you still
No.
playing
Show
12
him
hours
your
a day?
ID, please.
Where's your school ID? Are you actually in school?
Where's your hall pass?
It's in the hotel room.
When did you join school exactly?
I mean,
Or when
I
did you start up again? Sorry.
started 2 months ago,
Okay.
around there. And like, I joined like a week before it started because it was all very last minute coming back to New Zealand. And yeah.
You said it in the round of 32 that, you know, the skill of a player that's been playing tens of thousands of hours just isn't going to disappear like that. And you said that you're feeling it. How far do you think you can actually go in this tournament? Because you've reached the top 8. You've come out in first place here. I think Nathanius, absolutely Nathanius, I don't think, I know.
You almost beat Polt. I mean, in the
you
group
almost
before
beat
this.
Polt in the round of 32. Nathanius said that he thinks you can beat any of the non-Korean players here, and obviously you can tango with the Koreans here. What do you think?
I would favor myself against anyone but Hydra and Lilbo.
Polt and Violet?
I think I have a slight edge. I lost to them both in the Seattle MSI tournament, so I know
Yeah.
it sounds a little silly, but right now I feel like better than I ever have. So I think I've got the edge.
And did you carry that confidence against Snoot as well in those games? They're pretty fast and furious, very aggressive. Did you get into that series saying, you know what? I can do this, actually. I think I can go through first.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Snoot's really strong in CVZ, but even in the past when I wasn't in the form I am right now, we've traded blows quite a lot, so I knew I had a shot.
What is your weakness going into the playoffs? What do you think you are not going to be so good at? Is it playing in front of this big crowd? Is it a certain matchup? Is it just running into Hydra if that was to happen?
I think it's just Hydra and Lobo, really. Like, I don't think anything else affects me now.
So
that's the other thing. Like, I'm now, like, been to so many tournaments. These, like, nerves and that kind of thing and inconsistency don't affect me.
Well, calling
you
an Australian gets your jimmies going a little bit. Maybe that's his greatest weakness.
That's if you meet up against one of the other players in the quarterfinals. All they have to do in-game is say, I always wanted to play an Australian on stage.
I mean, not to belabor the point too much, but like, we were hypothesizing that, and you were kind of touching on this, I feel like, when you give up being a pro gamer and it stops being like the main focus, that little bit of stress relief makes you play better? I mean, what do you attribute it to? What do you think is working for you?
Yeah, there's that. I mean, I attribute it mostly to just the work I've put in the past is finally paying off. You know, you don't know when it's going to pay off, but now is apparently that time. But I do agree with you. The stress is definitely a big help. Like, not qualifying, there was so much pressure on me for the first season of WCS, and then the second season when I didn't qualify in the first season. Yeah, it was really stressful playing the qualifiers, and I got really down on myself. So I guess now that's out of the picture, and I'm getting these results. It's all just very carefree.
Well, last question here before we move on. What's your long-term plan? Is it you don't really hang up your mouse and keyboard? You don't say, all right, that's it. Are you going to continue to play in WCS? Or thinking about next year, whatever you do in Season 3, are you still going to always try and compete on the side of being a student? Is that your goal?
Yeah, I'm going to stretch it for as long as I can. I mean, there's going to probably come a point where I'm just going to fall too far behind.
Yeah.
But I'd say I've got the good part of next year still in me for some good results.
Okay, thank you very much, Petraeus, and congratulations on being first place in Group B. We can take a look at the bracket and confirm the placement of Petraeus. As you can see now, Petraeus first, which means Gung Fu Bandit and Sen must fight on Thursday in elimination game, and Snoot must play the winner of those two. Yeah. Nathanius joins us, the biggest Petraeus fan that we have. Welcome back to the desk. And as you predicted, we have a Petraeus victory. He goes through in first place.
What was that? I didn't quite hear that. Can you say that one more time?
Yeah, as you predicted, Petraeus went through in first place.
Thanks, Sean. Thank you very much. Of course.
You're
a man of many words, Sean.
A man of many words. Thank you very much, Nathanius, for coming on the desk just to say that. Jeff, a good day of action, and it leads well into day 2.
A few upsets here, and like I said earlier, I really actually like this format. I like that, you know, kind of one of the perilous storylines we're going to be looking at moving forward is Snoot's got to play on Thursday, and he's got to play for his tournament life. And there's going to be other people to join him, and it's going to be really anxious and kind of exciting WCS Season 3, and there's so many good games to come. Yeah,
tomorrow we have both the champions coming into Group C that will play to start off the day, and then later on you have the Lilbo, Jadong, and 4GG Igers group. A good set of players tomorrow, Nathanius.
Yeah, I think the scariest part of today's results is that 2 of the guys that need to win this whole tournament to actually have a shot at the global finals are now forced to play in decider matches.
And they still could. That's the kind of cool thing. Like, they're not eliminated, but man, it's kind of scary for them.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of action coming up over the next couple of days. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, StarCraft2.com/WCS.